So I spent this week researching Plasma, and Plasma is the new layer 1 blockchain purpose-built and optimized for stablecoin payments with zero fee USDT transfers. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to do a deep dive into Plasma and to see if it's a good investment decision or not. Why? Well, the most important reason is that I think that stablecoins will be the biggest sector in crypto. And according to ASXN, stablecoins are projected to reach roughly 4.9 trillion over the next decade. So for the guys that watched my latest video about stablecoins, so in my opinion, the stablecoin market cap went up enormously already, almost exponential. I think its market cap at the moment was 250 billion. So according to the projections, that would nearly be a 20x expansion from today's levels. And so yesterday I watched a podcast of the founder of Plasma. And what he said is that Plasma is here to dominate and take a share of that 4.9 trillion. So another thing as well why I think stablecoins will be one of the biggest sectors in crypto, and they had it on their homepage as well. Let me scroll down a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So Scott Besson said, we are going to keep the US the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. And so what I think, and I also explained it in my latest stablecoin video, is that stablecoins are a tool of shadow monetary printing to extend the dollar strength globally, while also creating a new source of demand for US sovereign debt. And that, of course, will result in lower yields, what Scott Bessent and Trump are trying to do, so that the US can refinance their massive debt. So do with it what you will, but I think stablecoins will be a big sector in crypto, and you need to allocate accordingly. So now let's go over to Plasma. So what is Plasma? So like I said, it's a high performance layer 1 blockchain, and it's purposely built for stablecoins. So this is their only mission, to have fast and cheap stablecoin transactions. And of course they succeeded in it. Like I said, it's $0 to transfer Tether. Also, the block time is less than a second, and they do 1,000 transactions per second. So what's their consensus mechanism? They basically use a custom-built consensus mechanism, which is operating under a proof-of-stake model, where validators have to then stake their XPL tokens for network security. But the security model, and this is the interesting part in my opinion, the security model is also enhanced, and I think I have it here, is also enhanced by Bitcoin via a native bridge. So as you can read here, this is via PBTC. It introduces Bitcoin as a counterpart to stablecoins in payment and savings. So that's not the most important thing. To me, this is the most important thing. It enables Bitcoin to circulate on Plasma, where it can serve as collateral, facilitating transfers and integrate across DeFi. So the primary value on BTC on Plasma lies in its role as collateral. And this is super important. I've spoken about this many times with my friend Zero Cool on our Saturday live stream, where we say the moment you can use Bitcoin as collateral to make payments, that's the moment when Bitcoin or crypto will go viral towards the rest of the population. But then, of course, the thing comes, as you see here, it's free. So I was thinking, okay, how can this be free? So I was looking a little bit further. And the thing is, so it's only the USDT transfers that are free. Because the protocol, so it's a protocol paymaster that covers the gas fees in XPL. I think they wrote it here as well somewhere. Yeah. And then the thing is, so the more complexer transactions, there they ask a gas fee for, and they will get burned by an EIP 1559 burn model like Ethereum has at the moment. And so these complex transactions are contracts, for example, or decentralized applications, and they require XPL to be paid in gas. And that's how it's possible that the rest of their normal USDT transfers are free. So I think it's actually a very good and innovative thing which they are doing. Another thing is, so they're also explaining why zero fee USDT transfers are possible. But they also explain a second very important thing, actually, because if it's free, how can you prevent spam on the blockchain since it will be free? And how they will prevent this is, so the paymaster enforces identity checks and rate limits. Only verified users can access this subsidy, and usage per wallet is kept. So this ensures the free transfer mechanism cannot be spammed indefinitely, which I think is a very valid and very good system. I've made a little chart for you guys to explain it a little bit better. So basically how it works is, so it all starts, as you can see there, with the free USDT transfers, zero fee via paymaster, of course, like I said. So, and then of course, I think, to me, that's actually their user acquisition strategy. So that free USDT that acts a little bit as an onboarding hook for users. And then you onboard all these users to all their other things, so to all the DeFi activity that I just talked about, the swaps, the lending, the vaults, and then that burns, which is why you can then pay for these zero fee USDT transfers. And then of course if there's more burn than transfers, then of course the supply goes down and XPL accrues in value. And this is where it's all about, the DeFi activity, and they do it with Plasma One, and that's their thing that's going to come out soon. So Plasma One is a non-custodial stablecoin native neobank. And a neobank is basically, it's an online bank. It's only online. They have no physical buildings or anything, like, for example, Wise or Republic. And so what Plasma is trying to do is that they will be the first big crypto native neobank for non-custodial stablecoins. And why I think they're going to succeed is because they will have the first mover advantage. And I think in these sort of things where you need a lot of networks effects, like for example, the Metcalfe's law, you can evaluate it by using Metcalfe's law. This is super important because if you don't have the first mover advantage, it's super hard to get any traction. Like for example, you see Uber as almost like a monopoly because they are just the first mover advantage. So now let's take a look at this. So, oh yeah, this is also the things which will be in Plasma One. So like this is, they will monetize through Plasma One. This is from Delphi Digital. So like I said, how will they do it? So they will card interchange and merchant settlement. So every swipe or payout generates fees. Forex conversion, so moving between USDT, local currencies, and other stablecoins creates natural spreads that Plasma can capture through its integrated FX stack, and then also yield capture. So user deposits on Plasma One can be routed into on-chain money markets, generating yields. So this is how they will do it, and this is how they will generate revenue for XPL and accrue value for the XPL token. I'm going to go over it a little bit later. So what I'm going to do now is go over the XPL token economics, and then maybe a little bit later, so why XPL has any value at all. So where was I? Yeah, so the tokenomics. So of course, as I just said, XPL is a native token. It's used for fees, staking, and government, etc. But then let's look at the distribution. Let me maybe drink something first. So looking at the distribution, they have a public sale 10%, investors 25%, team 25%. To me, it's a little bit too much. And that's one of the only negative things I saw. So basically, ecosystem and growth is also the team. So it's 65% that goes to the team, also investors, and then public sale. It's maybe a little too much, but I get it. I was looking, like I said, to the podcast yesterday, and he explained that so Plasma is not a real company where they have equity in the company. So they need to have these tokens to be able to pay themselves for the foreseeable futures, because eventually they want to be going fully decentralized. and that it becomes a community-owned project like Bitcoin is at the moment. So I get it. They need to pay themselves somehow. They don't have equity in a company. So I get it. Let's go a bit further. Yeah, so that's also important. So let's down have a look at the fundraising. So first of all, this was the first round. And this was a 24 million sale across the seed round and the Series A, which was led by Framework and Bitfinex. And that's super important because Bitfinex is USDT. And also, as you can see here, Paulo, which is the founder and CEO of Tether and Bitfinex, also invested. And that's super important. This is one of the reasons why most people are investing into Plasma and XPL, is because it's backed by Paulo and Bitfinex. I saw a lot of rumors about this, but I couldn't find anything that the amount was super negligible, that it was only like 50K or something. Another source told 5 million. But the thing is, it's not public knowledge. Let's say even if it's 50K, doesn't even matter. The guy is worth billions, so if it's 50K, 5 million, 50 million, wouldn't change a thing. The most important thing is that Paulo and Bitfinex is behind this and is helping them. Because that's also something the founder said in the podcast I listened to, is that Paulo is super helpful to us and that he has been a hands-on partner. And that, for example, that he was helping shape Plasma strategy and product design. So these things are way, way more important than giving money. So that's one of the things people need to understand of private equity investments. These companies are not looking mostly for money. Money is easy to find, but it's knowledge and good partners that's way harder to find. And that's what they have here at the moment. Then the second round, there was the public round, I think. So Bitfinex backed Layer 1 Plasma raises 373 million in 10-day token sale. So how this went basically was they tried to raise 50 million, but it was so oversubscribed. And then they kept it at this, and they raised at a $500 million valuation, which is already a lot. So they sold then the token for about 5 cents. And this was the 10%, as you can see here. So the 10% was the public at 500 million valuation I told you guys about. And these investors, that was the 24 million they raised. But like I said, they raised less money, but this is more important for strategic partnerships than this 10%, for example. So scrolling down, it's also important, of course, there are investors involved. When does their token unlock? Because at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, only 18% of the whole supply is unlocked. So at the moment, maybe I can see it here a little bit better. Yeah. So, and this is okay-ish. So if you look, all the coins will be unlocked. Well, not all the coins, but they will start to get unlocked in a year. So there is still a lot of time. It will not happen that fast. And then also another thing, well, unless not the 10 million, the 10% from here, they are already unlocked, but not for US investors. So this is what you can see here, that in a year time, also the US investors of the public sale will get unlocked as well. So at the moment, this is okay. This is fine. I think they wrote it in their own documents as well. XPL purchased by none, so they are fully unlocked. And this is, but I will talk about it a little bit later. This is probably why we see the drop these last few days. But the US coins are still locked. And then the team coins, 1/3 will be unlocked in a year. And I think it's the same with the investors. Yeah, you can see it here. It's the same as what I showed you guys. And then it's a monthly cliff, which is fine. I think the unlock schedule is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. This is maybe a little bit too much, but I get it. I get it. So no worries for me. Moving on. Yeah. So what I always also do when I want to invest in a project, crypto, company, doesn't matter. The team is super important. Who's the team behind this? And will they be able to deliver? That's super important. That's one of the most important things you need to look at. So first of all, of course, the CEO, one of the most important figures, Paul Frax, is a pretty young guy. I think he's 26 years old, but he already co-founded a company. He sold his company, I think last year or 2 years ago. He worked at Deribit and he did 2 degrees at the same time. So the guy is not Elon Musk, let's say, but he's a young guy, he's an upcoming guy, and I believe in him, why not? The second guy, which everyone is talking about, is Murat Firat. So that's the head of product, and he founded by Lira. So apparently this one is a very competent guy as well. The rest, I don't know, but apparently it's a very senior team, a very good team, and a lot of people much smarter than me think they will be able to deliver. I just wanted to look a little bit deeper into the CEO because, of course, the CEO and the founder, that's the pillar of the project, and that needs to be a little bit better research. So what I did, now we can just use a deep search on ChatGPT, and which will give you all the information if you just do it yourself. So the important things are that he, like I said, he did 2 bachelors simultaneously. Then he worked in crypto early on, so he had a podcast with Deribit, and this was in 2021, so it was while he was still studying. Yeah, so that's basically it. So while he was still studying, he was doing Deribit research and podcast host. Then he co-founded Alloy, which he sold. I don't know why they still say present. He sold it, I think a year ago or something. And now he's the founder of Plasma. He also played poker, I think, in uni. But that's about it. Nothing much to find about it. Nothing sketchy. So the guy is legit. The guy is good. There were a lot of allegations that it was the Blast team, which is not true at all. I'm going to go over it a little bit later as well. There was a statement from Paul Frax as well. So the team is fine. The team might be able to deliver. I think they already delivered. So in such a short amount of time, they already put out a very good chain and attracted a lot of smart money, a lot of TVL. And yeah, so then that's the thing. So I think, like I said, stablecoins will be the biggest sector in 2025 or 2026 and even going further, maybe next decade. So who are the competitors? And the competitors at the moment doing the same thing as Plasma are these, according to Delphi Digital. I don't know much about everyone. Stable, I heard, is very good as well, but it's not 0 transaction fee, which I think is one of the very good selling points of Plasma. ARC was too institutional, so they might not capture the same user base as Plasma. So I think according to the competitors in the same space, I think Plasma stands out. Plus on top of that, they have the first mover advantage. But the thing you need to be careful about then now is, of course, the competitors which already exist. And of course, we all know most USDT activity and most stablecoins are on Tron and Ethereum. So, and that's also something my friend Zero Cool said on the latest live stream. Why not just use Tron? And I think Tron is just, one, it's not purpose built. So a good edge that Plasma has, it's, of course, the UX will be good. So it will be a blockchain, will be an application only used to send transactions. It's zero costs. And then, so that's what I wanted to say about Tron. Tron, at the moment, it costs like $3 to send a transaction. So obviously, you're not going to do that if you have the choice. If you want to buy coffee, you're not going to buy double the price of a coffee just to make your transaction with Tron. So, and also Tron is centralized. So Tron is too much centralized. So the second are then Ethereum and Ethereum layer 2s. And I, for one, think the UX is not good in layer 2s. And also there is still a transaction fee. in my opinion, it has to be zero transaction fee for this to go mainstream. And that's what Plasma does very good. And they found a very good system to be able to do this. And I'm pretty convinced that this might be a good spot buy for the coming months ahead. So now let's look about the fundamentals and a little bit about the on-chain. So the most important thing, of course, is the TVL. And it's crazy that there's already 13 billion total value locked in DeFi on Plasma. And if you look at the other chains of the stablecoins on the chain, so Plasma is right here, and it's already the 6th biggest chain with stablecoins on it. It's right behind Hyperliquid, which is crazy, and the chain is only a week old. So to me, these are very good signs. Another thing which is not mega important, but you can also watch the mindshare. So the mindshare is basically the social activity, meaning if Twitter is talking about this or not. And I think Messari only uses high-profile Twitter accounts. This can be seen as a contrary signal that you want to buy when there is not a lot of fuss. But I think if they can keep this up, it's always very good. Of course, a coin is as good as its community and as good as the people that talk about it. That's why XRP has such an insane amount of value, because they got such a big army. So, of course, you can check everything on June as well. So here you can see the TVL. What else can you see on here? Transaction fees, which are important as well. You can look it for yourself as well, so you can find this easily on June.com. But then, of course, an important thing is why does XPL has value? And like I said, the security. So XPL is needed for the security from the proof of stake. And it's also important so that the transactions can be free. So how can the coin rise up in value? Well, that's if they're more burning than minting. And as you can see at the moment, there's more burning than minting, but this doesn't say anything. So at the moment, you don't have to value it like this, because this is a play for the future. This is a play if you think, okay, they're going to attract millions of users with their Plasma One app. There's going to be a lot of transacting. There's going to be a lot of payments with merchants, and there's going to be a lot of burning. That's how you have to play it. Of course, if you are going to value it at the moment at its current valuation, it's not how it works. Things like this, you have to value based on their future potential. So, again, this, like I said, this is going to accrue the value later on, but not at the moment. At the moment, you don't have to value it in this way. So another good thing which I came across is, so this is an XPL valuation model from Delphi Digital. And so they looked at a lot of layer ones, like for example, Solana, Tron, Sui and everything. And they checked how many stablecoins there are on the chain logged, what's the total stablecoin supply on it. And based on that, they made a little model how to value XPL. And so if you look at it, if XPL manages to get 10% of the USDT supply, then they should have a value of 10 billion, which they have at the moment. So I think this is very good. This is actually 16 blah, TVL 5 billion, and they have actually more, so which should be bullish. They have more TVL, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go, where was it here? Yeah, they have 13 billion. And also another thing, so 10% of the stablecoin supply. And the thing is, this is based on today's numbers. But what I said in the beginning was that the projected numbers are 4.9 trillion. Imagine they can have 10% of the 4.9 trillion on their chain. So at the moment, it's valued correctly based on the current USDT supply, based on the total value locked, based on the stablecoin supply, 10 billion, which is at the moment the fully diluted value, is fair. So I think it's at the fair value at the moment. So it's not at the bull case, but it's at the base case, which I think is fair, like I said. But this is based on today's stablecoin market, which I think is going to explode over the next decade. Like we said, what was it? What did I said? 20x? It's crazy. So then this has the potential to go 20x as well without the project even being live yet. Of course, another good way to value coins in crypto, as everyone knows, is looking at the charts. So we can do that with you guys as well, of course. There's not much price action, so a good thing to do if you look for a good buying opportunity is, of course, work with the Fibonacci levels. So this is a Fibonacci channel, and these are the Fibonacci retracements. So let me zoom in a little bit. What I think, oh yeah, by the way, for guys that don't understand this was the pre-market. So it was trading in pre-market. This was the price action for the pre-market. And here it went live the 25th. But you can already use this price action to trade and to use for charting. So I think if you can buy in this zone, this should be a good buy level. So this is a good support. That's why I put it in a little bit more bold. This is the midline of the Fibonacci channel. So I think here, maybe it can bounce off, or here, these are very good long-term buys. So this is where I got my bits ready. So I will buy here for the long term. So for me, this is not a short-term trade. I really believe in the project for everything I just talked about. I have no affiliation. This is not sponsored at all. This is just my own opinion. This is also not financial advice. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to buy a lot here. Well, not a lot. So always diversify and everything. But I'm going to buy here. And the thesis is simple. The narrative is so clear, which is why I think it's going to work. And that's also why XRP worked, because XRP's narrative was super easy to understand for normies. Banks are going to use it. This is exactly the same. Another thing I want to clear out is, as you guys can see, it's not looking good. So the chart is not looking good. It went down enormously. Look at this channel. It just on the floor. It's even more horrendous. Look at this. So why is this? So one, maybe, like I said, the fair valuation is here around the $1 mark. So I think this is fair. Maybe at the moment it's getting a little bit oversold, but so let me try to explain based on what I saw. So first of all, there were the largest depositors of XPL were selling. So, and that's the thing, the bulk of the selling pressure came from the unlocked supply, and it was sent immediately to exchanges. And this supply, in my opinion, this just comes from the 10% here of the public sale. They are up at 20x. Of course, they are going to sell. Of course, even especially the largest holders. Imagine you put 1 million into this, you get 20 million return. Of course, you're gonna sell this. Your life changed. So this is normal, in my opinion. A lot of other people were speculating that Wintermute was behind it and everything. Well, the thing is, the CEO, Paul, he said that they have no affiliation at all with Wintermute. He has the same knowledge as the public information on Wintermute ownership of XPL. So I believe him. So in my opinion, this has nothing to do with Wintermute. Of course, if XPL is tradable on every exchange, Wintermute is going to be there, but that doesn't mean that the team is involved or anything. To me, it's just the largest holders sold because they did a 20x, which is normal. You always have that at the launch, by the way. But then also the important thing is note, that's what I told in the beginning. No team member, of our team, 3 spend time at Blur or Blast. So the team, honestly, is very reputable. They're from Google, Facebook, Square, Goldman Sachs. So a very good team. And This was the most important thing. No team members have sold any XPL. All investors and team XPL is locked for 3 years. So I read this yesterday evening and I said, why were people questioning this? Because we know that it's locked. We know it's vested. They cannot even sell. So I don't understand why people were speculating that the team was selling, but they couldn't even sell. So this was just ridiculous. So that's about it. So I really couldn't find anything wrong or sketchy. Now it's just a matter of finding a good valuation. So you can use the valuation method of Delphi Digital based on the percent of the USDT supply. You can look at the charts. To me, this is a very good long-term project. So I'm going to DCA. I'm not going to bulk buy into it. I'm not going to catch the knife. I'm not going to go leverage long. I'm just going to DCA in it slowly. I think this is a good project for the future. I think stablecoins, the thesis is stablecoins are good for the future. And I got also a tweet here from Lubify. And this is also important. This is the closest exposure you can get to Tether. And that's also super important. So like I said, Palo is involved, Bitfinex is involved, and Tether, they were raising at the 500 billion valuation. This is the most profitable company per employee in the world. So this is already a very good thesis. And then of course, like I said, the fundamentals are strong. There's a lot of TVL and the stablecoin chain and the neobank play. With, like I said, with the first mover advantage being super important as well. And then last but not least, the thesis is the stablecoin market is expected to continue scaling into the trillions. And that's about it for me, guys. So please let me know in the comments if I missed something or if I didn't talk about something. And just let me know what you guys think about Plasma. And the XPL token, of course. Yeah, so like and subscribe and put a comment what you think. Bye, guys, and thanks for watching.